like to thank all the newbies coming by to see what Dawn Dares to Dream is all about. But before I begin, I'd like to remind you guys that subscribe button is right down here. Click on that, click the bell, select all, and that way you can get notified for all of my new content. And today, guys, guess what we're gonna do? Guess what we're gonna do? We are going to make collard greens with smoked ham hocks. Everybody seems to think this is a difficult thing to do if you haven't done it before. And I'm not gonna lie to you. It's taken me about 15 years to perfect this dish. It's a very simple dish, has very simple ingredients, so let's get right into it. We have, of course, the big leafy green collard greens. We love these, the big leafy green collard green. We also have what we call, I believe these are, yes, sliced salt pork. Sliced salt pork. And I'll show you how we're gonna use this. We also have the smoked ham hocks. Now these ham hocks are sliced in half because that's what the market had when I went. But I usually use the whole ham hock. We're gonna also put some apple cider vinegar in there. We're going to do crushed red pepper. And we are going to do chicken bouillon cubes. Now, the chicken bouillon cubes is to help to season the water so that the collard greens can get seasoned. The ham hocks adds a smoky flavor and a salty flavor, and this adds a little more salt as well. So guys, I will not be using any seasonal or any salt or pepper in this dish, just the crushed red pepper. And last but not least, I'm also gonna use bacon fat. And I'm gonna show you how I incorporate that in this dish as well. Just hold on one second. So now I'm gonna show you what goes into the stock in the water that will help to season up the greens. First, I am going to put a small half of the ham hock in the water. Now I'm not using all of them because I want to reserve the flavor. I am going to boil this particular ham hock until all of the smoky flavor releases from the ham hock. We're also going to place bouillon cubes, chicken bouillon cubes. So I'm placing 3 of those in the water as well. So we've added, the 2 tablespoons of crushed red pepper, which is gonna give the spicy kick to the greens. And so that we can tenderize the greens, we're gonna use the apple cider vinegar. You can use whatever brand you choose. I would say about 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. Because you do kind of want that tangy little taste, spicy flavor to them, smoky as well. So now that I have all the ingredients in, oh, sorry, I have one more. I need to add the salt pork. That's what it looks like. It looks like bacon, but very thick and with no real meat on it. That's salt pork. So you're gonna put those in there because those are gonna help to season up the water. Here's another larger piece. Put that in the water. So now I'm gonna take this pot and I'm gonna put it on the stove and I'm going to have it boil while I clean my greens. Okay, now we're going to prepare the greens to be cleaned. So you see this big stem that we have here? You don't want this stem, and it runs down the middle of the green. You don't want any of that stem. So you want to take the greens off of here. Now, some people use scissors. I just prefer to use my hands because that's what I grew up doing. And so I'm gonna take this piece and just throw it away. Now, they do sell bagged greens in the grocery stores where they say they have been cleaned and but they don't really de-stem them. So I don't really like those because they have a lot of stems included. So you just want to tear them up and put them over here. And what I'm going to do next is once I get this bowl filled, I'm going to go to the sink and I'm going to wash the greens off in cold water. Greens have a lot of dirt on them because they're grown out of the ground. So you don't want to just rinse it a little bit. You're gonna rinse it several times until your water runs clear. The water is gonna be green for a very long time, but if you just keep rinsing and keep rinsing, eventually they will turn clear. The water will turn clear. And again, some people will take the leaves off, roll them up, and chop them with a knife. I just do it the old school way, and I just tear. I do not eat collard greens that often because of this process that I must go through to eat them. I really do not like getting the bagged greens. And typically, guys, I will do collard greens and mustard greens mixed. Now, the reason why I do that, the mustards are a lot tenderer than this. The leaves are not as tough as the collards. and they actually cook a lot faster than the collards. So I usually combine them, but for this cooking lesson, I wanted to just do the collard greens by themselves. And as you know, I do have a special topic today. I always have a special topic. And today we're going to discuss change and how to ensure that whatever change you're going through in your life yields a positive result. Now, I will be honest with you. I haven't always liked change. Change wasn't always my friend. I'm a person who likes things to go the way they always go. I am a creature of habit. I dyed my hair the same color probably for 15 years. Like, that's who I am. It used to be honey blonde, people. That's all I used. And then other people finally kind of coaxed me into using some other dye. So I changed it up a little bit, but I don't like change. It's just not my thing. At work, when we hire a new person and I have to train them and do all that, and then sometimes they don't even make it because they're contract to hire and they don't even make it past the 3 months to get hired. And I'm like, I wasted all this time. But I have to look at it from a positive sense. So in the example that I just gave where, you know, we hired a new person at my job and they didn't make it and then I trained them, you know, what positive could have come out of that? I mean, it was a waste of my time. I took time off of my work and my duties to train them. But you know, I thought about it because I just did this recently. That's why I'm using this example. After I trained the particular person, what I got of it was practice for doing that part of my job. I don't do every aspect of my job every day. So I get a little rusty and I forget. And then I have to learn all over again how to do that part of my job. And in this particular case, I was able to practice it. So if I need to perform it again, I was able to practice it with her and show her how to do it. And that way it proved to me how much I knew about what I was doing, which is always another plus. You realize how much knowledge you actually possess when you share it with others. So getting back to you guys and how you can look at change and see the positive in it instead of the negative. I would say one example is this COVID-19 and how the whole world has been brought to its knees and we are all functioning in different capacities than what we used to because we just can't be as social as we want to be. Some of us are not working. Some of us are working but maybe forced to be part-time at this point. There's a lot going on with COVID-19 and how it's impacted us. This pandemic has been something else. But what I will say is the one thing I've gotten out of it is I started the YouTube channel and I began to explain to you guys what it is that I truly believe deep down on the inside that I like to share with others. And in doing that, I've learned and I've become more rooted and grounded in my belief system. And I think that that is a great positive. And through this process, there have been a couple times, including today, where I was thinking I was on the brink of maybe not being employed anymore. But you know what I did instead of thinking, oh, woe is me? I looked at my balance sheet, I looked at all the bills that I had, and I figured out how can I make it? What do I need to do? I mean, because to be honest, I don't have a rainy day fund. I know I should, but I don't. And so what would I do? And so I thought about my 401k and what that looks like. And I know you say, don't touch it, don't touch it, don't touch it. But if you have to touch it, you have to touch it, people. And then I thought about, I want to go into consulting. So I really needed to just take a look and see what my options were. And when I laid it all down and I thought about everything that I wanted to do and how I want to start my own business, I looked at it as an opportunity to do so. I even thought about the fact that I'm a part of a network marketing company and the product that we offer you is putting you in business for yourself as a travel professional. So that way you earn commission off of travels that you book and you also earn commission off of recruitment. So I said, you know, I don't really go out recruiting people and talking about it too much, but I am in it. I said, well, I could work that part of the business that I haven't been working. So instead of looking at things from a negative perspective and how, you know, being sad and thinking that my life is over, I said, what can I do with that time? So guys, change can be good, but it's only good if you can look at the positive in what it is the change is doing and causing in your life. So I was talking earlier today and with someone, and I was explaining that the changes you may be going through in your life right now, it's devastating. You can't see a way out of it. You don't know how you're going to make it. And so a way to get some positivity out of it, I thought about if you know other people going through the similar change and if they have been blessed through it. Think about their blessing and what has happened to them and begin to believe that there's a possibility that can happen for you, because then you'll begin to change your mindset or adjust your mindset about what's going on, and you will be able to attract that positivity into your life or the opportunities that exist as a result of the change. Because that's the key, being able to see the opportunities that already exist. It's not something you can do when you're looking at things from a negative lens. So you want to change your lens and you want to look from a positive perspective, and the world will open up to you. So I'm going to go ahead and finish these greens. I'm going to finish tearing them up, and then I'm going to put them in the sink, and I will welcome you guys back to see what that process looks like. Okay guys, we have the greens in the water, so I just got to move them around and help them get clean. And I've been cleaning them for a while, so I'm going to show you, how clear the water is, and it's now time to begin to what we call fry down our greens before I put them in the pot of water, the pot of seasoned water. See there? Okay guys, so now I'm going to begin to fry down the greens. I'm going to use this bacon grease that I have been keeping as the liquid or the oil to fry them in. Doing this part also adds another depth of flavor. What you want to do with your collard greens, you want to layer the flavoring. So just like I have in the pot, the ham hock that was boiling and the salt pork that was boiling earlier to get that water nice and seasoned. Then I have the bacon grease. Then I'm going to actually add in additional ham hocks when I put the greens in the water, and that's going to give them another layer of smoky flavor. And the smoky flavor is like the best thing that you can do to the greens. Most people don't achieve that because they don't realize that they really need to get the stock going with their smoked meat. And then you need to reserve some to put in later that still has flavor when you serve the dish. So now we're going to add in the greens little bit by little bit. So we're going to just move them around in the pan a little bit. You're just doing the fry down to kind of help season them a little bit and tenderize them. So now you see that the greens are actually changed a little bit of the color. We're frying them down. And then we're going to put them in the boiling pot of water. And like I said, we use bacon fat to fry them down. And they are really not edible right now at all, to be honest with you. They are really tough and they have not been cooked enough. But this is just the first stage in the tenderization of the collard greens. So now I'm going to take the collard greens and transfer them to the boiling water. And we will repeat this process until all the greens are in the pot. And remember, I had 6 huge stalks. They covered my whole countertop. Greens cook down to near nothing. Once you really get them going, they just shrivel up. That is why I usually have so many. So I'll put a little bit more bacon grease and let that melt down a little bit. And then I'll put in more greens. Put in a little bit more. Just cover them because they kind of fry and steam at the same time. Now, if you do not eat pork, you need to know what to substitute. Now, for the ham hock that's going in the water with the greens, you can do smoked turkey. You can do smoked turkey necks, smoked turkey wings, whatever you choose. To be honest with you, what I would do, I would use the smoked turkey neck because it doesn't have that much meat on it to get the water seasoned. Then I would use smoked turkey wings inside of the pot, but chopped up, not the whole wing, chopped up in the pot so that there's like that smoky meat that's in the pot. And see, now I'm actually going to add in the extra ham hock that I left out. We're going to stick that in there, and it's going to boil with the rest of the collard greens. And for the bacon fat that I used here, you could use any oil of your choosing. I would say use olive oil though, because it has a high heating viscosity, I think is what it's called. It can take a lot of heat before the oil burns. So you should use that in place of the bacon fat. But you do want to fry these greens down. It does add an extra layer of flavor. Well, guys, we're almost done. I have the greens in the pot. I'm going to show you what that's all about a little bit later. But right now, I really wanted to talk to you a little bit about Juneteenth. The reason why I am cooking collard greens and it is not like Thanksgiving or Christmas is because it's Juneteenth and I want to celebrate my African American heritage. So I want to give you a little bit of a history about collard greens and how African Americans have grown to love them so much. So first of all, collard greens did not originate in Africa. They originated in the East Mediterranean. So that's kind of where we got the greens from, but through trade and everything and commerce that was going on with people sailing back and forth to the different areas of the world, those greens were brought to America. Now the slave master deemed the collard green as a vegetable that slaves could eat. Slaves did not have a proper diet. They didn't have a regular diet of any sort that anyone would really want to eat, and hence the collard green. It's a very tough leafy green. It's very bitter. But what the slaves did, they took that meat and they made it into a delicacy. And nowadays we still eat the collard green today. But what they did to prepare them back then is they prepared them similar to how they stew green leafy vegetables back in Africa. So they took their tradition from Africa and brought it here and cooked the collard greens and made them something that we still love to eat. Now, they used, they flavored the meat with some type of pork, probably some leftover scrap kind of pork that the slave master gave them, and they cooked the collard green. Now, today, we have taken that and kind of transformed it. So we still use some type of smoked meat pork traditionally, and then some of us now use smoked turkey products. But we still prepare the green in the most traditional sense. Now, we've also added frying it down and doing all these things to help tenderize it even more. Now, those are the collard greens. They are boiling up in there. I also have some ham hock down in there as well. So they are cooking up nicely, boiling very nicely in a stew-like manner. And what I'm going to tell you is they're probably going to boil, for me at least an hour, maybe two, because collard greens are very, very tough. So guys, I want you to remember that Juneteenth is coming up. We celebrate Juneteenth, especially here in Texas, because it took Texas slaves 2 years after Lincoln emancipated the slaves. It took Texans 2 years to let the slaves be free. And there were not enough Union soldiers here in Texas to even prevent them from keeping the slaves as slaves. And one thing I do want to highlight here is even though we got freed, we have to remember we went into becoming sharecroppers at that time after we became freed. And sharecropping wasn't that much different than slavery. The only difference was that the slave master didn't own that black person or that African American person, but a lot of the same traditions of killing and lynching and, black people did occur. So we had a long way to go, but as African Americans, we celebrate Juneteenth because at least it's a holiday when all of the slaves were free. And if you want to research it, you can find a lot of information on the internet. Well, guys, thanks for visiting me today. And I hope that you learned something about Juneteenth, about how to make collard greens and ham hocks. And I hope this lesson has inspired you with respect to change and how to look at it and how it can be positive. Also, remember to like, share, and comment on this video. Now, my name is going to be up here somewhere in a circle. Click on that and you can subscribe. Now, guys, I'm going to show you the final product because the greens are actually done. Now, guys, here you go. Check out those greens. That's just a little small sample, but I tell you, they are so good. I tasted them earlier. And remember I told you an hour, maybe 30 to 45 minutes it took them to cook. It was so good. It was so good. I love collard greens. I love collard greens. So guys, thank you. Thank you for watching. And you have a great day, dreamers.